You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
So all of you that were thinking, man, let's just get out of 2022 and get a fresh start. So far this year, Jeremy Renner gets run over by a snowplow, is in critical condition, 2 surgeries. Damar Hamlin collapses on the field during Monday Night Football. The game is rushed to the hospital after having CPR and his heart restart on the field. And the Republican Party can't seem to pick a Speaker of the House after 3 votes. Kind of missing 2022 already. Stay tuned for the Dan Wickline Show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dan Wickline Show here on The Experience. It's a brand new year and we're rolling into it. Sorry, put something in my mouth besides my fingers. Hello Ed, cool, good to see you guys. Hope you guys had a good new year. Man, a lot of weird news going on right now. We talked about Jeremy Renner. The latest update on Jeremy is that he's had 2 surgeries now. From everything I can tell from the news and different reporting, he was plowing the street in front of his house or whatever and ended up getting rolled over on by the snowplow, which is supposed to have safety features to prevent that. So this could end up being something pretty serious. Besides his, the wounds are serious. I understand that his leg is pretty bad. They had to tie a tourniquet to stop the blood loss, and then blunt force trauma to the chest. So that's how we start on the 1st. Yeah, Hawkeye. Yeah, Jeremy Renner. So this happened on the 1st, and then of course last night, if you guys were watching the Monday Night Football game, safety Damar Hamlin tackled somebody. Well, it was kind of an awkward tackle. The guy ran into him and he took him down. He got up, and then a second later he collapsed on the field, and you could tell pretty immediately that this was something more than just a regular injury, as both teams, trainers and stuff, rushed out. They started doing CPR on the field, and from what I understand, they actually had to get his heart restarted on the field. So he was taken away by ambulance. The game was postponed. Word is that it will not be resumed this week, which doesn't matter. Hamlin's health is the only thing that matters, and the health of the teams. I mean, you watch someone you care about, you've been in the wars with for 7 to 16 weeks, go down like that. You're in shock. You're not ready to go out and play again, and it would be dangerous to put these guys back on the field because they're going to be worrying about their friend, but also the hit was so odd. I mean, I can't pronounce what it is, but it's a rare instance that basically blunt force trauma to the chest causes cardiac arrest. And I'm not sure about who passed. Somebody passed, yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been pretty wild. But Hamlin is supposedly sedated in the hospital. The fact that he's there and he's still alive and he's intubated are all good signs, believe it or not. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, and I know there's one sports guy named Skip Bayless who immediately started wondering what they're going to do because this is going right into the end of the season. Both these teams are playoff teams. They're fighting for the top seed and a bye week in the playoffs. And there's not much time before the playoffs start. So when will they replay the game? You know, but he started asking that question last night. And those are important questions for the game later. They're not important questions for humanity, for Damar Hamlin. It was too soon to start wondering about those questions because they didn't matter. Matter was the health of this 24-year-old athlete and for the condition of his family and his friends and his teammates. And so, yeah, that's pretty insane. Ed said that has to be a mental blow to the players. Absolutely. The hit he took looked like a regular hit. Nothing odd about it. So to know your heart can stop like that during what seemed like a normal play has to be in the heads of all his teammates, of everybody in NFL at this point, and all the family of NFL players. If you're watching the game and your cousin, your nephew, your son, your husband or your father is playing in the NFL, even if he's on a different team, you now wonder about that because it wasn't a hard hit. It wasn't helmet to helmet or anything like that. The wide receiver ran into the guy's chest when he was going to tackle. It wasn't that hard of a hit. It was hard enough, though, and at just the right time. And that's the thing. Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce this particular ailment, but it's just when you hit at exactly the right time in the pattern, the beats and stuff, you hit just to the right point, it causes a cardiac arrest. And that's just now, I mean, football has been being played for 60, 70 years. And this is the first time this has ever happened. It's happened otherwhere in life. I mean, normally the times that they discover this is during stuff like car accidents when there's blunt force trauma to the chest, but and it just is the right timing and the person dies of a cardiac arrest. And it might happen more often than we think in that sense because you're not looking for that. You're looking, somebody died of a heart attack. So you don't, how deep do you dig in a car accident? But this is pretty severe. And maybe this will cause changes to the NFL in the way they pad players. Right now, they put shoulder pads on them. Then there's some chest, but not a lot. Maybe there's going to be a change to that, to the chest and back, or, is it just for blunt force trauma to the chest? Can it happen if they're hit from behind or from the side? I mean, there's a lot of questions to ask there. But it's a pretty shocking event. And, I mean, you got to just thank anybody. Thank God that he's alive, and also that Jeremy Renner is alive. I mean, these are pretty freak accidents, and it's an odd way to start a year. It really is. So, all right, we're going to put that aside for now because we don't have any more news on it. As it comes in, if it comes up, I'll check it during the breaks and stuff. But as of right now, that's all the news we have. There is some other entertainment news, and we'll get to that. Because we still have a program to do. If you're a fan of the CW Arrowverse shows, and I know they're rapidly coming to an end. We've lost most of them. The Flash is going into its final season. I used to watch them like crazy. I covered them for Bleeding Cool, and I was a regular big fan of the series. And then after they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, I just kind of waned off of it. Waned or weaned. You can go either direction with that. But they are saying that a certain number of characters are going to be reprising their roles in the 9th and final season of The Flash. And some of those that are coming back are David Ramsey, who of course played John Diggle or Spartan in Arrow. Keenan Lonsdale, who was Wally West or Kid Flash for quite a few seasons. And Sendhil Ramamurthy, who played Ramsey Rosso or Bloodwork in, I want to say he was season 6, maybe 7. It's like I haven't watched in a long time, but he was the big villain for a season. So they're all going to come back and reprise their roles in the 9th season. So Ramsey has been popping up. He popped up on Superman and Lois. So that's not surprising. Lonsdale has come back a few times since he left. But bringing back Bloodwork is going to be interesting. Season 6. So I was right. It was season 6. Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting to see him come back and how that's going to play out. So Ed says, more reminder that life is fragile. Live life to your fullest because you never know. Yeah, that is so true. That is so very, very true. So, all right. So in other entertainment news, Glass Onion is doing well. We talked about that last week. It's entered Netflix's most popular film list, and at number 10, so that's climbing up as more people watch it. I'm a little surprised it's only at number 10. How well Knives Out did originally, I would have thought Glass Onion would have been bigger, but I think there's a lot of people who probably don't know that Glass Onion is out there or even know exactly what Glass Onion is. And where I agree that it's horrible to have it say Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, maybe it does need that tie to the original movie. Yeah. Also, in entertainment news, Disney, of course, they won the box office for just around the world for 2022, and they took in $4.9 billion. Domestically, they took in $2 billion and $2.9 billion overseas, and that is phenomenal. But I mean, Avatar: Way of the Water, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther. I mean, they had a ton of movies come out, but 4.9 billion. That's pretty good, especially for a company that just swapped out their managers. So, yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see how all this is playing out. But all right, that's the basics on it. Let's go ahead. We're going to take our first break early, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the latest episode of Willow, and then we're going to talk about The Witcher Blood Origin. So let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do, and thanks for supporting the EXP. Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
Hello, my name is Julio Anta. I am the writer of Home from Image Comics. You can pick it up anywhere books are sold. It's a 5-issue series, and you're watching me on The Experience.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dan Wickline Show here on The Experience. We are going to be talking about Willow and Witcher Blood Origin. But before I get into that, I want to remind you guys we have a great lineup of shows today. Right after this, we'll be in stores this week where myself, Kyle, and Jay will be talking about the latest books, including the brand new Purgatory Must Die, which is from Dynamite, Mosley from Boom, Super Superb from Dark Horse, and of course, we're going to get into Rick and Morty versus Cthulhu. Love that idea. So we got a big lineup for that. Then after that will be Minute to Skim It, where Miss Jen and the crew from Space Cadets grab the local books, look through them in a minute, and tell you what they think. So both those shows are to help you guys out as tomorrow's new comic book day, and giving you an idea of what's good and what you should be looking for. After that, YouTube sensation Mint Hunter Comics has decided to join The Experience. He's got himself a big following over on YouTube through his little short videos, but he's now going to do a long-form hour show where he will be, telling you guys about comics, his latest finds, and also selling some books. So you want to stick around for that. And that will be followed up by Country Road Comics, which is one of our newer sales shows. And that runs about 9:30 Eastern time. So great lineup here. You want to stick around for all that.
So Dan, apologies. I just looked at my phone. Mint Hunter actually canceled tonight.
Oh.
And by just canceled tonight, I mean literally just canceled.
Never mind. All right, so stick around for everything but Mint Hunter. But we've got in stores this week, Minute to Skim It, and of course, Country Road Comics. Also, going to tease you guys something here. We have got something big coming up. Really, really big. And you're going to want to be a part of it. And to be a part of it, you're going to want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you're on Twitch or on Facebook, take a pop over to YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because it's going to be big. We're going to announce it pretty soon, but you're going to want to definitely be part of that. So hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up for me, will you? That always helps out. So, all right, let's get into talking about the latest episode of Willow. We're 6 episodes in now. By the way, hello, John. Glad to see you. Werpin. Yeah, Country Roads is a good show. I enjoy it myself. And hello, Nick. So, Nick, I'll be calling you later tonight. All right. So, Willow's 6 episodes in. And the show started off really well and then started kind of petering out. A lot of my problems been with it is the tone of the show. There's this almost divide. It's like we're going to do something serious, and then we're going to do comedy, and then we're going to do serious, and then comedy. And that's what they've been doing. It's almost too much comedy. They're not really working it together. The movie Willow was excellent at that. It blended in the humor and the action and the seriousness all really well. And this started off doing that, but now it's almost like open mic night. It's like everybody has to have their chance to make their joke. You know, fight, here's my one-liner. Fight, okay, here's my one-liner. And it's taken away a lot from the show. And it's a shame because I really have been enjoying the show. And I love the concept and where they're going with it. But just the delivery has been kind of weird, and it's moving along very slowly. There's episodes that's like one thing happens, and the rest of the time they're kind of sitting around and just chit-chatting. And if you just wanted to sit around and chit-chat, you could come here. It's what we do. It's what our show is about. You don't turn on Disney Plus and watch Willow for just sitting around chit-chatting, you know? You want some action. You want some fast pace. But that said, episode 6 had a guest star. And it was probably the best thing that's happened to the series so far since it started. The guest star was Christian Slater, who I've always been a fan of Christian Slater. I like him, especially when he just does little pop-in things, you know. He shows up in Star Trek or you know, the role of Will Scarlet in the Kevin Costner Robin Hood, where he talks about how, you know, clearing the fence and using the one curse word. So I like Christian Slater, and I like him in everything he's in. He pops up here, and he's an old associate of Mad Mardigan's. He's also an associate of Borman's, and they have definite problems. And he's been captured for 10 years by this group of the most unlikely trolls I've ever met. See, this is also where the comedic thing comes in. You have a couple characters captured, and you think they're going to be tortured, and it's these troll-like creatures, and they are, and instead they come across like accountants. You know, like, we really would like you to tell us what's going on. Well, we'll probably just let you hang here for a while, and then you'll tell us what's going on. You know, there's no real threat, and that's the thing, is that there hasn't really felt like any kind of threat in the series, other than the crone, who we haven't actually confronted yet. Werpenstein says, True Romance was Tarantino's best movie starring Christian Slater. Yeah. Did you guys ever see the movie Cuffs? I've talked about this once before. It's with a young Mila Jovovich, and Christian Slater plays the, it has to do with private cops in San Francisco. It's a pretty good movie too. So I do like him in Pump Up the Volume and all his other stuff. Well, Slater's part in it is great in Willow. But everything else going on in the series is just dragging. And we got some moments that were pretty good in this episode. There's a voice that kind of hints at a bigger thing, something that I thought was going to be just kind of painted over, but instead they're actually leaning into it, which is what happens or what happened to Mad Mardigan. Now, I know that the original plan was to have Val Kilmer show up as Mad Mardigan at some point in the season. But COVID ended up making that not possible. So we're not going to get Mad Mardigan this season, but we have a lot of setup for it, which means that the only way we're going to get that resolution is if there's a second season for the show. And I really want this wrapped up, and I really want to see Mad Mardigan again. So I'm hoping enough people are watching Willow and are liking it and are talking about it enough to get people to, continue it on, and it gets Disney to give it a second season. So if you haven't been watching it, you give it a shot. Like I said, there are some really good parts about it, and I think binge watching it might be the way to go at this point, because it's dragging a little bit, which may not happen if you're just kind of speeding through. So it seems everybody agrees that we all love true romance. Hey, Sean, good to see you. Happy New Year. So yeah, that's True Romance. That's the one that had Elvis in the mirror, right? Was it Val Kilmer played Elvis? That would be. Now I'm kind of. Okay, now you guys got me wondering. Oh, that's an old movie, 1993. Wow. I didn't even realize that was a Tarantino movie until somebody said it. I mean, it's not his directing, but his writing, yeah. So who played Elvis? Huh. Oh, yeah, Mentor, Val Kilmer. So, yeah, so this is kind of a reunion in the sense that here is Slater actually pretending to be Mad Mardigan at one point. So, let's see. Ed says, did you see the trailer for season 2 of Vox Machina? We'll talk about that in just a minute, Ed. So yeah, that's it is cool to have Christian Slater pop up. He's an interesting character. He helps move the story along quite a bit. Thank you, Nick. So yeah, Triple B. It does suck to hear about Jeremy, and we're pulling for him. So, So yeah, it is kind of cool to have Christian Slater come in, the true romance connection to Val Kilmer. Now, if we can just get Samuel Jackson to pop up. So, all right, guys. So that's my thought on episode 6 of Willow. We've still got 2 episodes left, and they really did kind of ramp things up near the end there. So hopefully that's going to really pick things up, and we're going to get 2 really good episodes at the end. So. Ed just asked about seeing the trailer for season 2 of Vox Machina, and I did, and I'm excited for that. It looks like they're just going to keep rolling with the jokes and the action. I loved Grog just suddenly growing a beard. That was kind of funny. But yeah, I did see that, and I can't wait till that show debuts. And speaking of other shows debuting, let's see. Today is the 4th. I keep thinking today's the 3rd. Today's the 4th. So
today's the 3rd.
Today's the 3rd?
Today's the 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th.
Huh. My watch is wrong. That's weird.
Yeah, Sunday was the 1st. Yesterday was the 2nd. Today's the 3rd.
Huh. Okay. I'm glad today's the 3rd. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it, but my
Dan's a time traveler, confirmed.
my Fitbit says the 4th, which is one of those that updates through the computer and stuff. It's not, you don't set it. That's kind of weird. Okay. So tomorrow's, which means either late tonight or early tomorrow, depending on where you're at, The Bad Batch returns on Disney Plus. And that looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting season. So we will cover that. I will be talking about that on the show. I don't know if they're going to drop multiple episodes like they did the first time, but we'll try to talk about that later this week, maybe on Thursday. Triple B says it's been... Oh, Triple B, what's... Oh, I'm sorry to hear your daughter's sick, man. Hopefully she'll get better soon. So, yeah, Lisa has also been sick since Christmas Day, so I know how you feel. But it's going around, man. So just hopefully she'll be okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to talk about The Witcher Blood Origin, which is getting a lot of hate. Surprisingly, getting a lot of hate. And we'll talk about that. But let's go ahead and we'll take our other break. And we come back, we'll just focus on The Witcher. So we'll be right back.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code. Go follow the experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Dan Wickline Show here on The Experience. I almost forgot my own name. How bad is that? Yep, it's we're starting the new year off right. All right, so remember to stick around. We got in stores this week, followed by Minute to Skim It with Miss Jen, who is over in the chat. So, hey, Miss Jen, how you doing? And then Country Road Comics will be later tonight, so you want to stick around for all of that. It is... Oh, got my watch fixed. So, let's talk about Witcher Blood Origin. But before I do, remember, hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We got something really big coming up. We're going to announce it really soon. But you're going to want to be a subscriber on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Trust me on this. The Mindhunter show just canceled. So, yeah. So there won't be a Mindhunter show tonight, Nick. Sean says, I only know the date because birthday is on 2 days. So your birthday's coming in 2 days, Sean? Happy birthday. So, yeah, sorry about that, Ed. Like I said, I had my watch die yesterday, and I recharged it, and when it came back, it must have picked up the wrong date. So, all right, let's talk about Witcher Blood Origin. If you guys aren't familiar with it, the Blood Origin series is a 4-part series. It dropped on Netflix about a week or so back. Actually, I think it dropped on Christmas Day. And it's set 2,000 years before the events of the current Witcher series. So, Geralt of Rivia. Now, Blood Origin, it depicts the creation of the first Witcher, as well as the events leading to the conjunction of the spheres, which, if you watch the second season, you know there was a lot of talk of the conjunction of the spheres and also these monoliths that are out there. Well, this not only gives us an idea of what those monoliths are or what, where they go and stuff like that, but how all of this started. And it takes place around the race of elves. Now, we know the elves have diminished a lot in the time of Geralt of Rivia. But during this story, there are no humans. There are mainly only elves, except we see one dwarf. So the world we have now is set up by the end of this series. Now, before I get too deep into what the show's about, who's in it, stuff like that, I do want to mention that there is a lot of negativity about the show out there. Some of it is valid. There are some critiques about the characterizations, the lack of character building. Some people knock on the special effects. I didn't think the special effects were that bad. I don't agree with some of the acting, but there isn't a lot of character building. Also, there's a lot of discussion about how all of this is just made up lore, that is not part of the original novel series. And, you're allowed, when you take something to another medium, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to have the poetic license to do that. Now, originally it was planned as a longer series. I think it was going to be 6 episodes, and they cut it down to 4. So that explains why there isn't as much character development. They cut out a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it could have used it. Some of the characters didn't really get a lot of time. But I think overall, it has the feel of the novels. I've read 2 of the novels so far, and what I've read are these collection of short stories, which is how the author seems to prefer to tell his tales. And this feels like one of those short stories. But instead of with Geralt, it's taking place showing basically the remnants of the 7 tribes. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was a really neat way to show this history, which is going to play a big part in the 3rd season. But I think a lot of the negativity that is out there is misplaced. And we're seeing this a lot in this almost this toxic fan base culture. We see it with DC. Anything James Gunn is doing right now is being hated on because he wants to use a different Superman than Henry Cavill. He's creating a new 10-year plan and wants to start with a younger group of actors so that at the end of 10 years, he's dealing with, younger actors still. Right now, Henry Cavill is 39 years old. So he'd be almost 50 at the end of the 10-year plan. Is that a bad thing? No, if that's what you want to do. But if you want to use younger actors, then you should be able to use younger actors if you're asked to come in and take over a franchise. Sean says, sadly, it feels like society as a whole feeds on negativity. It does. And we see it in everything. If you're a political junkie and watched the news this morning, we saw what should have been the start of a brand new Congress. And the first step of the new Congress is to vote in a new Speaker of the House. But the negativity surrounding one part of the Republican Party is keeping that from happening. And they did 3 votes and couldn't get to a majority vote. So currently there is no Speaker of the House, and they adjourned so that, and we'll pick it up again tomorrow because they couldn't get anywhere. You've got, right now, the Democrat is getting more votes than any of the Republicans. And the Republicans are the majority party in the House. So it's a mess, and it's the negativity that's out there. And that, Ed says, did you hear the news about Ring of Power? It's highly unlikely that we will see season 2 in 2023. They're speculating it'll be sometime in 2024. That kind of makes sense. I hadn't seen that news, but it kind of makes sense, being that there's a lot of special effects and stuff that have to be done for a show like that. So hopefully it'll be, if it is 2024, it'll be very early 2024. And Werpin says, I wonder if they will have been better to do what they're doing in the comics now and introduce John Kent while still having Cavill be Clark, but take a back seat. I don't think so. Because, and this isn't the topic we're supposed to be on, but I'm going to answer Werpenstein's question. We have to remember that just because we're comic readers and all of this stuff and the change and new characters and stuff makes sense, these are movies. They're making them for a much broader audience who only know Superman as Clark Kent, who only know Bruce Wayne as Batman, who only know, and that's how they want to see it. And if you give them something different, they may not go for it. So as much as I think it could be an interesting story to do it that way, or to do Batman Beyond, something like that, the filmmakers are looking at what is the safest bet for their money, because they put out a lot of money on these projects and they need to make that money back and then some, or it's not profitable. So they're going to go with what financially makes the most sense. And Clark Kent, Superman, Bruce Wayne, Batman, that makes the most sense for them financially, at least in their opinion. And it's their money. So Ed says, I'm reaching the point where my life where instead of I can't wait for that to come out becomes I wonder if it'd still be around when that comes out. And I hear you on that, Ed. And there's no guarantees. I mean, right now they're wondering if there's going to be a second season of Wednesday, and it's like one of the top shows on Netflix, but it's because of all the behind the scenes stuff. So, all right, let's move back to Witcher, which was our original topic. the fact that Henry Cavill left The Witcher, there are a lot of people now who are against the show because of that. And they're taking it out on this, which was the most recent thing to come out after. Had they not announced the change of actors until after this came out, there's a good chance it would have been received differently. Now, would it be loved? Would it be applauded? I don't know. I mean, it really is depending on, everybody has their own opinion on things, but there is that negativity towards the series now because Henry Cavill left. And as much as people may like Liam Hemsworth, I don't know if he was going to get a fair chance to take over the role, which is weird to me because we're used to that now. A doctor decides to leave, we get a new doctor. David Tennant left, we got Matt Smith. Matt Smith left, we got Peter Capaldi, and just down the line, the change happens. Soap operas do it all the time without any fanfare. They're usually just an announcement. The part of Asa Buchanan is now played by, and then they go into the show, and that's the only explanation you get. So actually, that's where I first saw Nathan Fillion, was on a soap opera. He took over a role, and they decided to age up the role, and suddenly it was Nathan Fillion. So we should be used to that, but that negativity is out there. And what I watched, the 4-episode series I watched last night, doesn't deserve the negativity it's getting. Again, it could have been an episode or two longer. It could have been better character development, but it wasn't bad. It was fun. It introduced us to a bunch of new characters. It introduced us to some history, and I enjoyed it. Sean asks, in the novels, is Gerald the only Witcher they show? No, he still has, like in the second season when he goes back and there's other Witchers, we do meet some of that setup. He's just the most popular one, yeah. Ed says, by the way, my wife also loves to see you do a crochet show. Lisa's trying to talk me into doing a crochet show as well, so it's probably going to happen. Warpenstein says, there are a whole bunch of Witchers, but Geralt is the main one. Yeah, he's probably the most powerful one, too. And again, and if you are a fan of The Witcher, this is where Witchers start. This is how it all starts. And it's pretty cool. Jaskier appears in this. Minnie Driver shows up. It's Michelle Yeoh. All of that's cool. There's a badass dwarf in it who carries a hammer that has a name, but is not like, Big Thunder or, some of the names you get in Warcraft. It's Gwen. Her hammer's name is Gwen. And it's awesome. The character is so much fun. And that's the thing, is that, they're all like the last of their tribes coming together. And it covers a period of Witcher history we haven't seen. So for me, it was a lot of fun, and I like Michelle Yeoh, and anything she's in is usually really good. I think she does a great job in this. We got Lenny Henry in it as Balor. We get some new actors I haven't seen before, like Francesca Mills, Lizzie Ennis, Hugh Novelli, Lawrence O'Farron, who is great as Fischl, I think it's Stonebreaker. Sophia Brown is awesome in this. There's some great songs, but again, we also get Joey Beatty comes in, and you want to watch through the end credits of the first episode of the 6th episode. fourth episode. The final episode has kind of a post-credit scene and then a new song from Jaskier, or Dandelion if you read the novels. His name is Dandelion in the novels. Michelle Yeoh is a legend, absolutely. So I enjoyed it. They introduced a lot of interesting stuff, but we also get a huge clue in that something really bad is coming now into the world of Geralt of Rivia. So if you're a Witcher fan, you should be watching this. Because like I said, not only does it give you history, but it gives you setup for what's going on with the monoliths, with the different worlds, and a prophecy that things are not going to get better anytime soon. And but again, it gives us how the first Witcher was created, and it's not how you would think. Ed says, thanks to Marvel, I can't leave any show or movie without watching to see if there's a post-credit scene. Same. Absolutely the same. When Andor had a post-credit scene, I'm like, wait, Star Wars doesn't do this? That's kind of weird. Yeah. They've conditioned us. We've been groomed into waiting through the credits, which is not a bad thing, because then we actually watch and see all the incredible people who have worked on the show. We see their names and stuff instead of getting up and running to the restroom or out to our cars or whatever. So, yeah. I enjoyed it. I really did. I was crocheting at the time, since Ed brought that up. I was working on this hat. So you guys, it fell off. You remember producer Kyle, right? So we had a Jane hat for producer Kyle. So I was working on that last night and watched the show. And like I said, it was a lot of fun. So Warpentine says, I haven't had Netflix for 3 years now. It doesn't seem like it's worth it anymore, even though I love The Witcher. I'll tell you the truth. I've watched a few things on Netflix, but no, I don't watch it nearly as much as I did. But then the original reason I made them in the first place, or watched it in the first place, were the Marvel shows. So, did you finish the hat for your nephew? Not sure it was for my nephew. I think it was for Lisa's son. And yes, the orange and green one, right? The Aquaman looking one. Real quick, see if I can do this. No, I don't think I have Jay. And I doubt Kyle's listening. If Kyle's listening, I'm going to put a picture in Facebook and see if he can put it on the screen real quick.
If you put it in Slack, Dan, I can get it.
It's on my phone. I don't have Slack on my phone.
Oh, okay.
So I send it to Kyle. If he's listening, he'll throw it in. If you're watching later, you can still hit that thumbs up. Yep, Nick is right. You can still hit that thumbs up, and you can still subscribe. Remember, I'm telling you guys, you want to be a YouTube subscriber. Trust me on this. It's going to be big. That's the one I was joking about putting a jack-o'-lantern face on. Yes. I ended up changing it, but all right. Let's stick with Witcher. It's good acting, a lot of good action, some definite twists. So again, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Is it as good as the Witcher series? Probably not as good, but then Henry Cavill really carries that series and is really good about it. But yeah, the rest of it, I think having Jasker in the beginning kind of ups it a bit, and he's kind of the bookends for the episode. So for the 4 episodes, and it's only 4 episodes. They go really quick. They're about close to an hour each, and I found myself, like I said, I sat through all 4 of them in one sitting, and it was a lot of fun. So I definitely liked it and enjoyed the history. So again, it could have been better. Maybe another episode or 2 would have fleshed out the characters a little more. But overall, I thought it was all right. So, all right, we are getting close to wrapping up. Let me remind you guys, right after this, in stores this week, I'll be here, Jay will be here, Kyle will be here. And if you guys stick around, I'll make sure that Kyle puts up the picture that I just sent him. So Ed can see the hat. Then Minute to Skim It with Miss Jen and her crew at Space Cadets talking the latest books. And then tonight, Country Road Comics. They're going to be doing some big sales, so you want to stick around for that. Got a great lineup here. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Not exactly sure what the topic will be yet, but I will know in the morning. I am talking to somebody because I want to do another show on Warhammer and the actual process of painting. And I've got some miniatures that I've already built that I want to show you guys. So we were trying to put together a Warhammer show. If not, we'll definitely have a good topic for tomorrow. Plus the Bad Batch is coming. So we will see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes with In Stores This Week. Stick around.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.